again with Keeping It Real. I am one of your hosts, Paul Chambers. I'm here with the beautiful Miss Anna Lefebvre.
Hello, everyone. You know what's so funny? I had an audition last night, about a new app. Can't say what it is, but I had to do something where I'm like streaming or something or whatever. And tell me why I kind of froze up. Like I don't do this all the time. Like I froze up internally. They didn't see it, obviously, because I'm a pro. But I was like, why am I freezing up right now? I think I was just tired because I do a lot of not streaming, but like stuff for the internet and all that stuff. So I was just like, this again. But anyhow, so we're going to go straight to relationship stuff. If you guys don't know, my name is Anna
So,
Lefebvre. I am the host of Love and Lust. It's a podcast about relationships and more. Paul has his own podcast with his friend.
Starlin Roddy, aka He Man, we are the Thundercats.
Mm.
We host the Welcome to Forever podcast, also about life and relationships.
So we're on the relationship spectrum, so we're gonna go straight into it. I'm not sure of the timestamp. I will probably put the video up if I can find it. But Steve Harvey, which everyone knows, he's one of the top relationship. I don't know what you want to call him, guru, advice person. I don't know what you want to call him. I don't know the correct term. But he was stating that men and women, when you're in a relationship, you should never have a friend of the opposite sex. And I'm not quoting him, I'm just saying the gist of what he said. So I'm going to let you lead with this. If you're in a relationship, committed relationship, should you have friends of the opposite sex that if you are attracted to that kind of gender?
Well, I understand how it can get a little murky. I believe it's a case by case basis, but I do believe that if you're both adult, if you're all adults about it, you can have friends of the opposite sex when you are in a committed relationship. Um, I mean, obviously, not all people are capable of having friends of the opposite sex because of proxymetrics. You're around this person. If you have conversations with this person for it can get a little murky. There, you could potentially become attracted to this person without even realizing it. So I understand where it could be a sticky situation, but I believe as long as you're adults and you're upfront about everything, it's extremely possible to have friends of the opposite sex when you're in a relationship.
So if your girl, just fictitiously saying your girl, you guys were dating for. I'm just gonna paint a picture. You guys dating for a year.
Right?
She has this friend. Let's call him Lewis, and they're work friends and all this other stuff. That's how they met. It's not like they met at a bar or something, whatever. They met at work, and she's like, "Hey, I'm going to go to lunch with I don't even Lewis. Almost forgot the name with Lewis. How would you feel about that?"
I would honestly, I'd want to meet them first. I think that it's at least a common courtesy to introduce your significant other to this person. I'm not an insecure person at all, so I'm not with all that. Oh, well, what does he do that I don't? I'm not with all of that. But I just think it's a common courtesy to at least introduce me to him. I mean, if I'm in a relationship, that means I trust you. So you know,
So she's like, "Me and
that's where
Lewis,
I'm
we're
at.
good. We're good friends. We're hanging out, whatever. And that's cool to hang out. Go to a comedy club, and I got extra tickets. You want to come? And it's just them two."
And see, this is where it can get a little tricky. This is where it can get a little tricky. Because for me, if it was the other way around, I personally wouldn't be hanging out with this person like that, like on that level alone without myself. It would more than likely be something where, well, me and my girl are coming. So that's me.
Like a couples thing.
Yeah.
So, but if he's single and still wants to hang out and be a third wheel, is that okay with you?
Mm, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a problem with it. No.
Okay. Interesting. So, what about friends from her past that were there before you? Are you okay with that?
Friends, as in they've only
Like,
been friends, or they were together before
if they were
we got
together
together.
before, like, say, they were together 10 years ago, didn't work out, and now they're just friends platonically. Is that okay? Should that be okay?
It should, but I mean, with me, I'm inquisitive, so I'm gonna require a little bit more information.
You're not
What were
inquisitive, you're nosy.
what were the circumstances of y'all breaking up? Are there still feelings there? Those type of questions. So that's what I'm at.
So, okay, so you're okay with that though, as long as you talk to the person and you're okay with that.
Yep, and I will tell you why. I am a person that I am a person is gonna do whatever they want to do at the end. I can be the best person I can be, but if that person chooses to step outside of what we have, then at the end, there's nothing I can do about that. It goes back to, like when you're a kid and your parents are telling you, don't do this, don't do this, don't go, stop hanging out with stop hanging out with those troublemakers, stop hanging out with that little fast girl around the corner, don't be out there having sex, but they can't be up under you 24/7. It's the same type of scenario. If you want to go do something, you're going to go do it, plain and simple. Yeah, I'm hoping that's not the case in regards to that situation. I would hope you have enough respect for me you know, to to rock with what we have. And if it's anything more than that, then I would hope you be ready to tell me so that you're not taking my choice away from me. But I mean, I can't sit here and worry about things that I have no control over. And in those types of situations, I don't have control, and it sucks because I'm the type of person that's a control freak. So, but but yeah, I mean, people are gonna do what they want to do at the end of the day, and regardless of how good you treat them, how good of a person you are, people are gonna do what they want to do. So
I think it's also emotional maturity because the whole cheating thing is a whole other thing. Like it's
yeah,
a whole mental space that is in the regards of where you are mentally to be able to do that to someone that you promise to be monogamous with. It's different if it's an open relationship or, you're able to do all, have the sides that and it's okay because you guys communicated that's what the relationship is. But when you're in a monogamous relationship and you are able to hurt someone that deeply, it really shows you who you are. It's also a thing of certain men just want to and I'm saying it from experience, they just want to F anything. Like they don't you think about the consequences or what may happen down the road. They just want to F anything, it
yeah,
seems like. And yeah, there is you can't control another person. Trying to control and micro control situations really just honestly is stressful and it makes you look stupid. I'm with the whole make you look stupid. It just makes you look very immature, needy, desperate, and insecure. And do you
yes,
really want to live your life that way and be with somebody? Because I can tell you about being in a relationship and just being stressed out. I look different. My health was different. I always had stomach issues. I couldn't eat sometimes. I was in the hospital a lot. I was having asthma attacks a lot. So it's really a stress level on you. But here is my thing as well. Um, if you're with a good person, a good significant other, and they have friends of the opposite, they should really know what and appreciate what you say about the other person and what you bring to the table. For instance, if you have an ex that cheated on you, there's still probably some emotional scarring from that. So they could do things that will make you feel better about the situation, like checking in, all this other stuff. And some people might be like, oh, well, no, comedy club at nighttime, no, that's too intimate or whatever. I'm gonna tell you guys something. Working people that work a lot, you know what time of the day that I have seen predominantly people cheating, morning, afternoon.
Mhm.
Because at nighttime, they're with their family. But in
Yep.
the morning, you're not suspecting stuff, right? And then
Mhm.
it's also the people that you haven't met. Like, oh, this person, you know about the person, but it might be somebody that you haven't met. So if you feel something suspicious, you should really ask your significant other. And if they still don't make you feel comfortable, you need to question what's going on. And if this person's emotionally mature enough to be in a monogamous relationship with you,
Yep.
that's basically what it is. So, um, I personally don't really understand, but at the same time, I do live a different lifestyle. I'm also a type of person where there is a hierarchy in, a relationship, and your significant other should be your number one. So I'm not saying to not have friends of the opposite sex or whoever that sex you're attracted to. What I'm saying is to be respectful. I'm also saying, what the hell do you need them for when your significant other should be your best friend? I understand if it's like an outing with a whole bunch of friends. I understand if, you guys been childhood friends or friends for a very long time. I'm not saying to dispunge that relationship. What I'm saying is that when somebody else comes in your life, it is now a new kind of relationship. Okay. So they could still be friends. They could still come to the house, kick it with you and your significant other. But at the same time, your significant other does not need to be friends with them, but they should be associates just to keep it. But at the end of the day, you also gotta ask yourself, well, for me, like I'm completely busy. I'm booked, I'm busy. I run a couple companies plus other people's companies. So I don't really have time for a whole bunch of friends. So at the end of the day, my significant other has to be my best friend. But I'm also gonna say, don't lose yourself in that other person and then block everything out. The one thing that you really should have as a couple is couple friends because it makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference in your relationship. It's not always you and that person staring at each other. It's fun. You also can talk to if it's another healthy relationship, not a bad relationship, because that could have a negative effect. If it's a healthy relationship, now you guys can talk about, things that go on, because there's a lot of things that go on in a relationship and we're not always right. So if you are with a healthy person or have a healthy friendship with somebody else, you kind of talk to them and kind of bounce it off in hopefully a non-judgmental atmosphere. So now here's the thing that kind of makes me a little about this. When my longest relationship ended, people that were friends, like work friends or whatever, all of a sudden came out. I've been in love with you. I've been whatever. So I know from my experience, I have to be careful because there has never been a time in my life, and I have male friends, and my male friends know that it ain't never gonna happen because I have standards and a type, and I'm sorry, buddy, but you don't fit it. That's why we're friends. That's why we're not dating. Right? So I know what happened with me. So with that, I am very cognizant when I'm with somebody else that I've never been called that's my sister by someone that's not my brother. A lot of females have, apparently. I never have. I have never been like, oh, that's my cousin, my play cousin. I have never experienced that. I have never experienced where a dude's just like, oh, let's be friends. That's straight. Like I've never. And like I was saying, from my experience with my longest relationship, and all of a sudden everyone's coming out like, oh, I always loved you, I always liked you, blah blah blah. Like a lot of people, that puts makes me a little apprehensive. But I also have or had female friends that people saw platonically, and they were trying to date the dude, and the dude's like, no. So it really is, and I think I preach this all the time. It's not cookie cutter. It's situation by situation. But at the same time, you have to be respectful. Like I really don't see the point of you having a male friend, you guys going out to brunch. That's just weird. Like you and that person, to me, that's weird. That's weird. So if my significant other was like, "Oh, I'm going to go to brunch with such and such," and it's not a business thing, I'm gonna be like, "That's what you want to do? Okay, you can do what you want to do, boo boo." But that's kind of weird, you know. It's not really an insecurity thing. It's like it's to cut out all the side noise. It's to cut out all the bullshit that goes on because you can't control the other person. At the end of the day, you never know someone else's intentions. Because I've been around a lot of people in the past that didn't have good intentions with me and for me. Now I'm very intuitive, so I'm like already reading the room. Um, so I don't know. It's like I'm on the fence with this whole entire thing. But I, at the same time, do not lose yourself in a relationship. You still have to maintain your individuality. Also, when you're in a relationship in your 20s is much different than your 30s. Is much different in your 40s, your 50s, and 60s. So
Yeah, because I understand it from all angles. Because I mean, the older I get, the more I'm not just tunnel vision. I'm not just looking at it from one way. I'm looking at it from all over. So for me, I don't really. I'm not gonna say, that I would just cut all of my female friends off. I'm like, I have way more female friends and acquaintances than I do male acquaintances. I don't like hanging out with guys. I just don't. I hang out with Starlin and I hang out with my brother. That's pretty much it. Um, but at the same time, it's like you said, I'm not gonna lose myself, you know, when that time comes when I do get into a relationship. But that person, when I do get to that point where I'm in a relationship, that person is now my number one priority. So all this other stuff is just kind of on the back burner. Can't hang out like we used to. That's just me. I would hope I get that same respect from my significant other. Um, and that's just where I'm at. And at the same time, yeah, they may be extremely cool, whatever. I don't want to. I'm never gonna be that guy that's like, oh, you going out with him again? Like, why are you going out with him? Making it a big deal, especially if there's nothing going on, and that makes me look crazy in a sense. So I'm never gonna be that guy because again, I can't control you. If you're gonna do something, then you're gonna do it. But
yeah,
for me, I would hope I get that same respect because you're not gonna see me. Hey babe, I'm getting off work. I'm about to go have breakfast with such and such, and we're just gonna be up there for a little bit. That's not gonna happen.
I understand like the ones that that are grandfathered in, but the new ones, like, what are you guys going to talk about? Because I hope you're not talking about our relationship. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
there are people that will plant stuff in your ears because they're sitting on the sidelines trying to wait for their opportunity.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like, what are you guys talking about? But you could do stuff like have a dinner party at your house or invite them to go out to eat with you. And it doesn't have to be, it could be you with another, one of your friends, or as long as it's not like an intimate thing, like whatever. Because my thing is you want to keep away from anything that may look
Yeah.
crazy. May look. I'm gonna give you a story, an example. So I forget why this happened, but something happened, and this is what like in back in the day in another city, another town, another life of mine. I was kind of, a little bit of a big deal because of things that I did in the community. So I told my ex, I'm not gonna take a picture with the guy. I won't do that. I don't want it posted or whatever, so it might look crazy. So I asked him for the same respect. I said, do not take a picture with another female. What does this guy do? He goes out of town. I can't reach him because the metro situation now this is like over 10 years ago, okay? So I can't really reach him. I see on the internet, let's say Facebook, because he wasn't on anything. Like whatever, I'm being shady. Anyhow, I see on Facebook with him and another female, and there's people that know both of us who set this up, talking about, oh, what should be? These two would be so cute together. Here I've been in a relationship with him for 2 years, and stuff like this happens. And I told him, I just had a feeling. I just had a feeling. I said, don't take a picture with another female. They're at a bar. all snuggled up. I like the disrespect. Like all you had to do was not take a picture with it. You're not anybody on on freaking social media. You're not modeling. You're not acting. You're not a news anchor. You're not doing like you're doing literally nothing. And then you go out and do that. You know how hurtful that was? Because look at me. I still remember. I still remembered. So you got to respect your other and you have to respect their mental space. If they're saying something to you that they don't like about a situation, kind of respect what they're saying and go from there. And that's all my thoughts on that is situation by situation. I wish people were more mature because a lot of people ruin stuff by wanting to sleep with somebody else that they have no business, even wanting like being in that same space with because it's not going to work out. All you're going to do is ruin a ton of relationships. So, all right, back to you, Paul. If you have anything else to say.
Uh, no, not really. Comprehend whatever what your significant other is saying. It's not enough to just communicate. You got to be able to comprehend that. If you do have a friend of the opposite sex, maybe your significant other is not comfortable with you being around them for whatever the reason may be. You owe it to that person to hear them out and listen to it, especially if
Hmm.
it's something that's warranted.
And you got to really think about it. You can't be like, oh, you're just being crazy. No, you need to think about it because that's that person's feelings. And now you're dismissing their feelings and it's going to trickle down to a lot of relationships. Why? Because you want a friend of the opposite sex, like in a setting that you is not unnecessary to me. So yeah, that's all I have to say about the subject at hand.
Yep.
But yeah, my name is Anna Lefebvre, and I think we're out here.
We
All
are.
right.
We are.
Bye, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.